I know that a lot of people feel sorry for Amir Khan at this moment, and they want to praise him for his bravery that he's shown. I understand that. I get that. And he should be praised for his bravery. Khan has always been a very brave guy in the ring, and that's been to his detriment certain times. But when people are going overboard and they're saying stuff like the punch that knocked Khan out would have knocked out a horse, it would have knocked out anybody, and it's not indicative of Khan having a bad chin, I honestly don't know what you're smoking. There are plenty of fighters who could have taken that right hand without getting knocked out. There are plenty of fighters who could have taken that right hand without going down. Canelo is not a monster, people. He is not a massive puncher at junior middleweight or middleweight. He's a decent puncher in those divisions, but nothing amazing, nothing massive. He certainly don't hit anywhere near as hard as someone like Golovkin, not even close. He was made to look like a massive puncher because he was fighting someone who was way smaller than he was, who was Chinny. That's the only time that Canelo's looking like a monster puncher, when he's fighting smaller guys or Chinny guys. Didn't Alfredo Angulo take dozens of punches like that and never even come close to going down when he fought Canelo? Yes, he did. Didn't Austin Trout take a right hand like that? And yeah, he went down, but didn't he get back up swiftly and continue to fight and go the full 12 rounds? Yes, he did. Don't try and sit there because you want to have sympathy for Khan and go overboard and act as though that punch would have knocked out the Incredible Hulk, Superman. I mean, come on, people. There are plenty of fighters who could take that shot from Canelo. There are plenty of fighters who have. I've seen certain people talk about, does Manny Pacquiao have a bad chin because of the way he got knocked out by Marquez? Manny Pacquiao was walked into a punch. Khan wasn't walked in. He wasn't, literally going forward and coming at Canelo and then took the shot. No. And pound for pound, Marquez is definitely a bigger puncher than Canelo. Oh, yes, he is. Let's not even get that confused for a second. Marquez has rendered plenty of guys unconscious, semi-conscious, who are the same size as him or bigger than him. He's had them swimming around in the canvas. It's not only just when he fights Chinny guys or guys who are way smaller than he is. No, even bigger guys have touched the mat due to a Manuel Marquez punch, a Juan Manuel Marquez punch. So again, Khan got knocked out the way that he did because Khan's got no chin. I'm not saying there aren't other junior middleweights who would have gone down from the shot. I mean, Kirtland got knocked out in similar fashion. But I've always said, go and look at my Canelo Kirtland pre-fight video. What was I saying in the video? I was saying Kirtland's got no chin. Kirtland is Chinny. I was saying that for time. And I was saying that Canelo is going to knock Kirtland out. I've got no doubt about it. He's going to knock this guy out. Because Kirtland just can't hold a shot and he's got no defense. But even when Kirtland got knocked out by Canelo, look how many clean shots Kirtland took before that right hand eventually finished him. He took several bombs from Canelo before he got taken out. Khan didn't. In that 6th round, Khan took one clean power shot, and that's it. And he was out for the count. He was knocked into a different universe, into a parallel universe from that punch. Because Canelo's a much bigger guy, and Khan had a weak chin, even at lightweight. This is a guy who got dropped and hurt by people like Willie Lemond and Michael Gomez, and you're trying to tell me you don't have a weak chin? People, stop it. Just stop it. This is a guy who, in his last fight before he fought Canelo, got hurt by Chris Algieri. You trying to tell me he don't have a weak chin? Stop it. What's wrong with people? I don't get the mentality here. yes, you're going to have sympathy for him and you're going to praise him for showing bravery and all that. But let's not get carried away. Let's not lose sight of the reality and the truth, which is that Khan has no chin. Yeah, he's got one of the worst chins, actually, that I've ever seen on a championship level fighter. There have been others, don't get it twisted. Terry Norris had a bad chin. Herbie Hyde, Michael Moore. There have been other guys who had, similar weak chins to Khan. But Khan's definitely up there with one of the worst chins I've seen on a championship level fighter. And, well, at least with guys like Michael Moore, for example, he was only really getting hurt by guys who are much naturally bigger than him. When he was fighting guys his own size, his own natural size, back when he was a light heavyweight, nobody was really hurting Michael Moore. It's only when he stepped up to heavyweight he was, starting to get hurt. Similar situation with Herbie Hyde, I guess. When he moved back down to when he moved down to cruiserweight later on in his career, the little guys weren't hurting him. Well, it's the big heavyweights that were hurting him. So maybe Terry Norris, I guess, he was chinny. He got wobbled and hurt and knocked out, numerous times. Maybe he might be the closest comparison to Amir Khan in terms of chin. But trust me, Khan has got one of the weakest chins of a championship level fighter I've seen. Very weak. And that's just the reality of it. It's not trying to be horrible. It's not trying to bash Khan or anything like that. It's just being real. And as I say, there are plenty of light middleweights. If I said light heavyweights earlier on, because it's late right now, sometimes my brain gets scrambled. But yeah, there are plenty of light middleweights who could have taken that punch, and middleweights who could have taken that punch without going down, without getting knocked out. And, those who would have got knocked down, plenty of them would have got back up from that shot. Let's not get it confused, please. When you're talking about guys like Eubank Jr., Billy Joe Saunders, they could probably take them kind of shots and still be coherent. Again, not to say that Canelo can't punch. And by the way, I'm going to leave a link in the description below, in the comment section. Maybe I'll put an annotation on screen they can click, to an interview with Teddy Atlas. Now, he predicted exactly what would happen in the Khan-Canelo fight, which, it didn't really take rocket science to figure out that Khan getting knocked out would be a very distinct possibility. But either way, Teddy Atlas described exactly how he saw the fight going, and it played out to a T, just like Atlas predicted. And the link I'm going to leave is to a post-fight interview of Atlas, where he's explaining, why he knew that this was going to happen in the way that it did. And he had Khan, by the way, well ahead against Canelo. And yet again, Teddy Atlas is very vocal about these kind of things. He was saying the one judge that had Canelo winning the fight 4 rounds to 1, that judge needs to be put in prison. And again, this biased judging with Canelo is very, very real. All these people claiming that there was nothing suspicious about the way the fight was scored. Again, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what you've been smoking. This is a pattern with Canelo fights. He always gets massively biased judging in his favor. But with that aside, Teddy Atlas said, let's not make Canelo out to be a monster because of the nature of the knockout that he scored over Amir Khan. And I agree. Canelo's not a monster. He knocked out a guy who was way smaller naturally, who even at the lighter weights had a weak chin. That's who he knocked out cold. Yeah, he didn't do that to Alfredo Angulo. He didn't do that to Austin Trout. All these other guys that he's hit with that same shot, it didn't have the same effect. And there are plenty of middleweights. I mean, if he hits Gennady Golovkin with that shot, I'm telling you right now, there is no way Golovkin is going to be stretched on his back unconscious like Khan. It's not going to happen. Golovkin's chin is massively better than Amir Khan's chin. It's not even close. Yeah, there are plenty of middleweights, light middleweights. There are even some welterweights who'd be able to take that shot without being rendered unconscious. So, as I say, I understand all the praise and the sympathy for Khan, but let's not get carried away, please. Let's at least try and keep ourselves grounded in some type of reality. Yeah? So it is what it is. Go watch the Teddy Atlas video. It's pretty interesting, I thought. And drop your comments in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.